Hello, everyone. It is now 7 p.m., and I'm Daryl Curry.
And I'm Delina Johnson.
And I'm C. Ron Allen.
And a warm welcome to all of you to this week's 63rd edition of Community Conversation. We have a great show planned for all of you tonight, so sit tight and get ready for the ride. Hello, young people. Do not ever leave money, easy money that is, aside on the table. This school year is almost behind us, and the Secret Millionaires Club inaugural Brain Bowl competition will be on Wednesday, June 9th at 6 p.m. This will be a virtual event, and there is lots of money to be earned. There will also be some cool prizes, and above all, you can earn bragging rights. Who would love that? The competition is for all age groups, so you can participate wherever you come, wherever you like, from K to 12. Contact 561-665-0151 or info@kopmn.org for your study material. Good luck to you all.
In addition to the rewards that you were talking about, if you earned an A or a B average this school year, mark your calendar for Wednesday, June 16th for the Shave the Beard rally at Blanc Barbershop, which is at 704 West Atlantic Avenue. Mr. Ciron challenged all of his students at the beginning of the school year that if they earned an A or a B, they could have the joy of cutting his prized beard, continuing an annual tradition. Some have been working really hard at it. No C's, just an A or a B. Just an FYI, that is a small part of the incentive, which will be announced on June 16th. The rally is scheduled for 6 to 7 p.m.
And just before we came on the air, I was watching the live feed of Village Academy's commencement exercise. Congratulations to each graduate, and I wish the very best for you.
Also, further in congratulations, we congratulate Nigel and Nia Brown for sending in their report cards with an A average.
Kudos also to Cameron Bell, Carell Thomas, Joshua Smith, Cameron Simon, Princeton Henry, Demarion Tyson, Izzy Johnson, Tommy Davis, Demarion Edwards, Joshua Jensen, Tayarda Shakes, Deron Blake Jr., Tristan Blake, Isaiah Stewart, Jeremiah Stewart, Liam Dudley, Haziel Thompson, and Patrick P.J. Madison.
These young men will be heading out on the water tomorrow to hang out with several men in the community, including the officers of the Delray Beach Police Department, the Delray Beach Elks Lodge, Masonic Lodge, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, and Psi Beta Sigma Fraternity. Again, congratulations to you all, and there is more to come.
So Dara told you about the Brain Bowl I am making, and now this is only a suggestion. I highly recommend that every child listening to me will participate in this competition next week. That's next Wednesday. Folks, young man, young lady, this is a fun event, and there's lots of money that's going to be rained that evening. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. All right, and that includes you too, Don Lemon. You heading off to college, so I know you're going to need some money. You and Dina and Miss Johnson. I'm sure you're going to be there. Now, earlier this week, on Monday to be exact, we celebrated, or rather observed, Memorial Day. Now, young people, if you're listening to me, I know you saw people cooking out. Some may have been partying at the beach, and may even at least in Miss W's neighborhood, shooting off fireworks. Yes, the 3 day weekend symbolizes the unofficial beginning of summer. Yeah, time to celebrate. It's a time for family reunions and a time when we can wear whites again, white shoes, white socks, white shorts, and you know the rest. For the last Monday in May every year since 1971, which is May 31st this year, that date holds special meaning beyond our borders and around the world. The day is a solemn day to many Americans and our nation's allies. It's when we honor those who were killed while serving in the armed forces, or for our friends listening in Belize or Japan, the military or militaria. Now, dating back to the Civil War, mourners have used flowers to decorate the graves of the deceased, which led them to call the holiday Decoration Day. That was only in states that fought for the Union and the Confederacy. After World War I, which ended in May 1918, the holiday's name was changed to Memorial Day, and it became a time to remember servicemen and women who'd been lost in every war. Now, if you drive by many cemeteries, chances are you will see American flags placed at grave sites, and the president traditionally lays a wreath at the tomb of the unknowns in Arlington National Cemetery. Many of you have never seen a red poppy, and some of your parents or grandparents may have. But the red poppy became synonymous with the fallen troops during the First World War and has remained a symbol of their sacrifice ever since. As a kid growing up, Delina, I used to see these old men and women selling poppies in stores around Memorial Day and Veterans Day, which is in November. I had the shock of a lifetime last week when I saw two ladies selling poppies in a Walmart in Lantana. It had been over 20 years, more than 20 years, since I last saw one, and I learned that they experienced some challenges while selling them here in Palm Beach County. Now, I'm sure if it's the same for those of you who are listening outside the United States or in around the state of Florida. So tonight we have the director of the Women's Auxiliary for the Veterans of Foreign War. I'm being told she's not with us. Okay. Okay, so we will revert to the video, Neil. See, one of the things I shared with these young people, we always got to have a plan, a backup, and a contingency
Soldiers were quick to
plan.
notice that blankets of red poppies were the first signs of life to appear on the devastated battlefields of the Western Front, burying a close friend and comrade who had been killed on May 2nd, 1915, a Canadian. Early in the First World War, soldiers were quick to notice that blankets of red poppies were the first signs of life to appear on the devastated battlefields of the Western Front, burying a close friend and comrade who had been killed on May 2nd, 1915, a Canadian doctor, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, noticed how the bright flowers were pushing through the newly dug graves. Perched in the back of the field ambulance, he contemplated the scene and, in a creative outburst of just 20 minutes, penned one of the most famous poems of all time.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago,
McCrae didn't like his poem at first. He crumpled the paper it was written on and threw it away. But his fellow soldiers admired it and encouraged him to submit it for publication. Having been rejected by the Spectator magazine, it was first published in Punch magazine on December 8, 1915. The poem inspired the use of silk poppies as a symbol of remembrance, championed by two women, an American academic, Moyna Michael, and Anna Guerin of France. They encouraged the newly formed British Legion to buy 9 million silk poppies for what would become the first poppy appeal in 1921. This raised today's equivalent of £30 million towards the welfare of veterans and the care of their families. 100 years later, the poppy appeal still raises funds for this purpose. The poppy remains a symbol of remembrance and hope, and in Flanders Fields is one of the best-loved and well-known poems in the English language. McCrae himself died of pneumonia towards the end of the war. His body remains in France, but his poem lives on.
Very good, very good.
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Theron,
Yeah.
at my old school back home, they used to, every November, from what I can remember, they used to make us have these cotton versions of the poppies and pin them on our uniforms. So I just, with the frustration of the guests not being here, but in this testament that they were given to having the frustration of not being able to sell the poppies, I think it would be a nice thing to incorporate that in schools, to have a time of remembrance that the children could, resonate with.
Well, you're on your way out, so what are you going to do to make that happen, young man?
Maybe advertise it for the BSU. That could be a nice start off, and then hopefully take it on from there.
Speaking of BSU, I'm just been notified that Mr. Gregory Kirkwood, our beloved assistant principal at Carver Middle School in Delray Beach, is listening. In fact, he's joining us now live. No, well, he's not live. He's listening in. So that may be a project for his students to take on next week. Let's start him early, Darryl. Let's not wait for the high school.
Definitely.
So, yeah, shout out also to Oscar and Brianna Leon, who's listening in Parkland, Florida, as well as Janaya. Great seeing you, Janaya. Great having you. Shout out to Johnny McKinley, who's joining us from Madison, Wisconsin, and to Leah Adolphus, who is joining us from Chicago, Illinois, the West Coast. Good evening, Janaya. There you go. Oh, you're watching your school's graduation. Good. Just got through watching it as well. All right, it's time for Coach Jamel Stewart with his sneak preview on Delray Morning Live, which is aired at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesdays. Now, since many of you will be on the clock at work and can't watch the show, we promise that we'll bring this to you right here on Community Conversations. Okay, Jamel is stuck in an airport. Okay, he's stuck in an airport
right here, Mr.
and
Seward
cannot
now
join us.
been
But as I always tell,
here in Delray for almost 30
okay,
years.
that's what I'm
And I
talking
have
about.
to say, I was
You on the
actually
ball,
in his
Neil.
program.
I didn't know.
I was in his
That's
program as a little
amazing.
kid, the KOP Mentoring Network. But you guys have some awesome events coming up as well. You can talk about.
Yes, we do. But what's up with the food?
We're all hungry.
Let me just say, whoever planned this today and invited us today,
Yes.
did an awesome job. Great, man. I can't wait.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, don't worry, you're gonna have all of it after. As soon as we hear about your event, then we are gonna. He's like, take some.
Save a plate for me till the end.
Yes,
How about
so
that?
we will.
Yes,
we will let
but
you try all the goodies.
You're saying, as Jamel said, KOP's been helping to prepare our young people in Delray Beach for the last 30 years. And we do so through a variety of programs. We have, right now, we have 4 avenues of service, I like to call it. We have an oratorical academy. We have a financial lit and wealth building academy. We do health and wellness, Zumba, and gardening. And we also have our aviation. We have an aviation program. Yeah, we get our small fries involved early on, try to get them in the pipeline. So not that we want them to be pilots, but want to expose them to these things. We do golfing and some other things too. But yeah, this young man came through. Boy, hey, see this? Look. He's largely responsible for this. We have in Delray is one of the cities, I must say, just an awesome experience. But we have a relationship with the Delray Police Department. Many of our kids, many of our boys do not have a relationship with a positive male figure in their lives. So the police department decided that, look, we're going to do a father and son fishing day.
Beautiful.
So on Saturday, we're taking 21. Now it's about 27 now. 27 young boys from Delray. And we have about 17 officers now who have signed up with boats and some members of the community. We're going to take them on Lake Ida from 9 to 12.
Nice.
And we're going to teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
Just think about the experience.
Yeah.
Many of these boys have never left probably a 30 millimeter distance from their homes.
Okay.
They're going to be on a boat on Lake Ida.
Oh, that's so
day.
cool.
So it's an awesome experience.
You're creating a lot of beautiful experiences for the kids, it sounds like. I mean, all the things that you listed are things that most kids don't know about. And you're providing these kids with this education that's going to set them up to the next level. I mean, like this one here is doing pretty good. Here's your proof. Here's your proof. But it is, I mean, just even to teach kids about finances. Most kids have no concept of any of that. So to be able to learn that is huge.
Man, I must say that I just so happen to be I like to say the brain behind this, but it takes a village. A lot of people who make this young lady to my left, this young man to my right. I call them and they just open doors for me.
Yeah.
And I must say, the Delray Beach community, in 30 years of asking, I've never been told no.
That's amazing. And that's how it should be. And I think that's one of the things that makes our community so special is that we all try to help each other and lift each other up and have different events and
You're
celebrate.
So right, Amanda. It's all about collaborations. Boards are collaborations. The chamber is the collaboration. Each nonprofit, public service like Jim has done is a collaboration, and that's what makes this what we are. It makes Delray such a special community.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I do too. Well, I think we need to get them some food. We're torturing them.
I heard
while
Mr.
they're
C-Ron
sitting
Silver growling
here.
over there. You
He's
heard
like,
it?
finally. and I'll go over some of the chamber announcements while you guys get to have some snacks.
All right, that'd be great.
Thank you for
Thank
all
you
that
guys
you're
very much.
doing.
Now that's what I'm talking about. This young man is being prepared. We have two guests now who, for whatever reason, did not show up, and he did not miss a beat. Daryl, he did not miss a beat. That's what I'm talking about. Being on the ball.
As he should.
Yeah, Neil, I'm sure that'll be reflected in your evaluation, and who knows, you may get a 25-cent bonus. Okay, so most of you know that KOP is a mentoring program that serves young people ages 7 to 17, and we've been, as you just heard, we've been doing so for the past 30 years. Now, earlier this year, my life was interrupted, if you will, when 2 dogs joined my household. And I do not need to tell you how I have aged, thanks to Jack and Charlie. Anyway, they have been a delight having them as part of the Allen family. But then there were those of you who kept sending me your pictures of your cats and wanted to know if we would feature your felines on the show. Well, I was out one week and Neil decided that he was going to dedicate almost 75% of the show to cats. Just in fact, a week ago, Daryl, I was held hostage by a group of small fries who literally were demanding to know when and where we were going to do something for them. They kept saying, all the big kids, you're always doing stuff for the big kids. What about us? So thanks to my supportive leadership team, we will be launching the Mini-Me Spelling Bee this summer.
Perfect.
Our 2-, 3-, and 4-year-olds will be spelling 2-, 3-, and 4-letter words. And guess what? Yes, Dina, the cool part is this spelling bee is going to be on the beach. Yep, they're going to be writing their words in the sand, and hopefully the wave will come through and just wash it away, and they have to do it again. But anyway, I guess the tiebreaker is going to be, since they're going to be doing 2-, 3-, and 4-letter words, the tiebreaker could be a 5-letter word like OCEAN, ocean. So anyway, I have been warned to be ready for anything, as kids are known to say the darndest things. So parents and grandparents, we will be soliciting your support to make this a memorable time for our small fries. We have a video that my boy sent us to help prepare us for this experience. Neil, roll that video, please.
Hey, Nayeli. Please have a seat.
Okay.
I like your hair, by the way. Very nice. What do you call that style?
Beautiful hair, that's all.
Fine. Very nice. So, on a serious note, as you know, this is the last interview I'll ever do with you. As a 2-year-old, because you're about to turn 3. Hey. How do you feel about that? You're not as excited as me? What is that?
That's happy face.
No, that's just the corners of your mouth stretching out. Being happy is like this. No, look, do like this. Okay, look, I get it. Nobody's coming to your party because of this whole...
There's a monster in the womb.
Metaphorically, I guess. And just like we talked about before, the best way to deal with this monster is... No, it's a virus. Okay, and like we talked about, the best way to deal with that is to do what with your hands? No, Nayeli, is to wash our hands with soap and water for 20 seconds, okay? Haven't we practiced this every day?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Why does Daddy always take his time washing his hands?
Because it's so dirty.
That's not what I said.
Really dirty.
My hands are not that dirty. Switching the topic, what kind of cake do you want for your birthday?
I don't like cake.
What? What kind of toddler doesn't like cake?
I don't like.
I know, pie. You like pie, right?
It's my pink car.
Pink car.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so we're jumping to gifts now, and I have no problem with that. So yeah, I mean, I'll gladly get you a little toy car for your birthday.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously, because that's what you just asked me for, and I'm good enough of a person to do it. I will get you your little toy car.
No, I don't like that.
Oh, I'm sorry, pink toy car.
I don't like that.
Girl, you got to make up your mind. You don't like cake, pies, the car that you just said you wanted. What do you want?
I have a new chick. I have a new cut.
Okay, I already said I'll get you the little toy.
No.
I know you don't think I'm going to get you a real car.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. You're turning 3, not 16.
Please.
You're going to have to do a whole lot more chores around here to get some real car money.
Not cutting the grass anymore.
Well, then I guess you're not going to be able to afford the real car. Anyway, birthday songs. I need to make a list. Yeah, let's start with your favorite song. What's your favorite song?
I'm gonna say MCs.
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, N, N, O, P. Next time, won't you sing it?
Okay, that's cool. You missed a few letters, but... All right, we go into it. Okay. All right, now, which of those 2 songs is your favorite?
The wheels on the bus go round and
You singing the third song? Okay, look.
No, say 5. 1,
No,
2,
please, girl.
3.
Nobody needs 5 favorites of anything, okay? That's just people that can't make up their minds. And you need to make up your mind, okay? It's simple, just like I know you have 1 favorite mommy and 1 favorite daddy.
You know what? That's 2 daddies.
Ha, okay? I let that junk slide before in other videos because you were only 2 years old. It was kind of cute. You didn't know how to count. You barely knew how to say your name right. But you're about to be 3 years old. That's not cute anymore, okay? You only have 1 daddy and 1 mommy.
No, 2 daddies.
Where did she go? She just disappeared. Oh no.
I want to hear the end of that one.
That was so
Daryl, you know they say kids say, he warned me, kids say the darndest things, so you always got to be ready. So we're going to be ready this summer.
I love that. So moving forward from the optimistic take, a warm welcome to our friends who are joining us on the KOP Mentor Networks or Boca Raton Tribune's Facebook pages or on YouTube. As usual, shout out to our friends in the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Jamaica, Japan, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, the UK, and the US Virgin Islands. Please remember to share community conversations on your social media pages. If you've missed a show, you can find it on Boca Raton Tribune or KOP Mentor Network's Facebook pages. Do us a favor and follow on KOPMN on Facebook, please.
Here at KOP, we believe that leadership training prepares youth to manage their time, work in a team setting, set goals, start conversations, facilitate meetings, and make effective presentations, all of which are positive life skills that they will carry into adulthood. Please direct your attention to our friend, Mr. John Maxwell, for our Leadership Minute.
Alignment is a wonderful word because it means that you take effort to take something that is important and put it in a sequence that will help you to be successful. For example, I talk about alignment in priorities. I ask people to ask themselves, what gives me my greatest return, what gives me my greatest reward, and what's required of me. I call it the 3 R's. And I say, line up the 3 R's like you'd want to line up the 3 stars. Get them in alignment. You see, when I get the 3 R's in alignment, all of a sudden it gives me maximum return because now I've got them working together. Alignment means you're moving in the same direction. You're working together. You're taking and maximizing your energy and your effort. So I hope that in your life, you're getting some alignment in your relationships, alignment in your priorities, alignment in your life. Because as you take time to put things where they need to be, they'll take time to give you the return that you really want to have.
Tonight's program is produced by Janaldina Bazoo, a graduating senior at Atlantic Community High School and 3 weeks away from being a member of the Millbury College class of 2025. As usual, the genius behind those videos that you're seeing tonight with such good potency is our illustrious cinematographer, Neil Sunsky, Neil Noel, a proud product of KOP Mentoring Network and Village Academy. Jasmine Collins, a rising junior at Florida State University, has been doing a great job as our social media intern. Check out our social media pages to see more of Jasmine's fine work.
And shout out to our friends in Louisville. Just got a text here from someone saying, what about us in Louisville? You're shouting out people all over the world. Okay. Shout out to our friends in Louisville. Let me say 3 times. To our friends in Louisville. To our friends in Louisville. Shout out to you too. And let's not forget our friends in Clewiston. And shout out to my little sister, Abby Allen, wherever you are in the world, Miss Allen. Shout out to you too. Now, here at Community Conversations, our sole goal is to create a platform to serve as a training ground for our youth to hone their skills and sharpen their mettle. So this week, we're proud to welcome and introduce our newest member of the team, Miss Valine Joseph, who is a student at Atlantic Community High School. Welcome, Miss Joseph.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're doing great. So you are at the ATL. What are you, a junior or senior or freshman? A what?
I'm currently a junior at ATL.
You're a junior. So you have freshman, sophomore, junior. You have what, 2 more years to go with us or 1?
No, just 1.
Hey, I'm just checking to see, because who knows? Dina's leaving us in a few more weeks, and Delina's gonna step into one of those seats, I'm sure. So I'm just trying to see how, we're gonna move these cards because we never want to be left, unprepared. So just asking, and I'm sure the listeners want to know too. So you have been, you're a junior now, and what are your plans after graduating high school?
My plans after graduating high school is to hopefully by that time be interning at a local clinic by my house so I could get more experience and hours in the medical field I want to be in. And then after that, I plan on either going to FIU, UCF, or any college that's willing to accept me to work on my AA and then hopefully get into the nursing program while also working at that clinic to gain more experience. So I'm ready to be in the medical field as soon as possible.
Got you. So you want to do your internship before you go off to college?
Yes, I'm trying
how about doing it while you're in high school?
Yes, I'm trying to do that right now, looking for any like internships or volunteering hours I could get in nearby clinics or medical fields.
So if you're out there listening, Dr. Smith, if you know anybody out there and all you doctors out there, know anyone who would like someone to shadow. In fact, have I'm sure Miss
Yes.
Nia Brown, Miss Nia Brown over there listening now, saying, "What about me, Mr. C. Ron?" Well, we have about 4 or 5 graduating seniors and some juniors who are looking for internship this summer in the medical arena. If you can help us out a few days a week, we would be gratefully appreciated. So now, Miss Joseph, you have been following a story that sound that in fact that should be of interest to all of us. And Neil and I were talking about this before the show. Interestingly, very little is known about this story. What do you have for us?
So, Mr. Ciron, exactly 100 years ago this week, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we saw one of the biggest race massacres in American history. But for many years, very few people were talking about it. Greenwood, also known as Black Wall Street, was one of the most prosperous, predominantly black areas in all of America. One day, racial violence broke out on the 31st of May, and by the morning of June 1st, 1912, an estimated 300 black people had been killed within the Greenwood district, which was devastated beyond recognition. We have only a video to give you a slice of what happened that fateful day.
Destruction was so complete. The suffering was so biblical. The betrayal was so profound.
Black communities deserve the opportunity to confront the past. Our city has been stuck since then. We've never recovered.
Tulsa was the best place in the nation for African Americans.
We have everything from hotels, theaters,
doctors, lawyers.
People refer to it as Black Wall Street.
Showing Black people that a new world was possible.
The Tribune published a story titled "Nab Negro for Attacking Girl in an Elevator." It was a false narrative to keep Black people in their place, to reinforce white supremacy.
All across Tulsa, angry whites are now organizing.
They get their guns, they get their torches.
At that point, they start moving towards Greenwood.
All hell broke loose.
My mother says the whites are killing the colored folks.
Firing into homes.
Bombs dropping from the air.
It was just an all-out massacre.
Not one of those men who participated in the race massacre were ever brought to justice.
The Tulsa Tribune refused to write anything about the massacre for more than 50 years. Victims were being buried in unmarked graves across the city. The reason we understand the history of the massacre is that certain survivors decided to talk about it.
My mother saw 4 men coming toward our house, and all of them had torches.
We would be looking for the remains of those who were lost so tragically.
This is so beautiful and sad at the same time.
We need to do something about what happened in Tulsa.
There cannot be any justice till there is proper respect, restitution, and repair.
It's more than a history of violence and destruction. It's a story about courage and persistence and resilience. And young people, I'd like for you to see we know what happened. We just saw what happened in Tulsa, but I'd like for you to take away from this that never, ever give up, especially when you know that you know what you're fighting for. You know what you're worth. Okay, so just think and look at the how courageous these people were, and resilient. Wow.
Yes, it is. And one, as we said earlier, is unfortunately really discussed in our schools. But next week, we will have more to look at about the Black Wall Street.
Valine, before you go, I think that let me just say this to our viewers out there. What I'd like to see you do next week is let's go around town and do a survey on campus. Just get your phone and ask a few students. Have you ever heard of Black Wall Street? I would like to see and know, Daryl, how many people out here have heard of Black Wall Street? And what I'd like to do one evening next week is let's just go downtown with Neil and ask some adults across your community. Have you ever heard about Black Wall Street, or what do you know about Black Wall Street? And try to incorporate that in the presentation. How about that?
You got it.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, now, see you next week.
See you guys.
You bet. All right. So it is that time when we hear from my man himself, Brother John. Brother John.
Hey, Mr. John.
What's going on,
man?
fellas? Man, blessed, man. Glad to make it through another week. Glad it was a short week due to the Memorial Day holiday. So, yeah, those 4 days went by. It's the weekend, and so everybody loves Fridays.
I forgot for you all who work for the government, y'all have a short week. What is a short week?
Working for the state of Florida, state employee.
Yeah. It was so good, John. It was so good hanging out with you last week, bro, in person.
Man,
For those who were not with us last week, we've been broadcasting remotely for the past year, and last week we came to you live from the fish fry at the Spady Museum in Delray Beach. Speaking of fish fry, wasn't that fish on target, bro?
I was one of the very, and I know you saw me come in with the plate early. I was one of the
and I
first people that got a
nothing
plate.
I could do about it.
Man, the fish and chips, Brother Norwood came prepared. He had the to-go boxes, the aluminum foil, the white bread. You know, you got to have the white bread with the tilapia. So it was amazing. It was good seeing the brothers. It was good seeing you. So it was a good time. It was for sure a good time.
Yes, it was. I gotta say, Nord must have some secret alpha sauce or seasoning with him, boy. That I can't recall the last time having fried fish, that good. In fact, I had fish left over. It was so good, I just didn't want to finish it the same day. I had fish. I think I had fish till Wednesday or Thursday. But anyway, moving right along. So our little sister Naomi Osaka says she needs some time away from the court to deal with her mental health. And bro, when you heard that she was backing away from the interviews and then dropping out because of some depression, what challenges? What came to mind? What did you think when you heard that?
You know what I initially thought of, and I may be dating myself a little bit, but I initially thought of Ricky Williams, who was a star running back at the University of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He played down here in Miami for a little bit with the Dolphins, and I know he became famous for doing interviews with his helmet on. And so had a chance to kind of rethink that, because I know he just did an interview with Shannon Sharp. That Shannon Sharp has this whole club Shay, and so he always felt that they weren't interviewing him as a person, but they were interviewing the image of what they thought he should be. And so that kind of made me think of when you see these star athletes, these millionaires. I think we sometimes forget the humanity in them. And a lot of times when you're thinking of Tim Duncan, Osaka, people that are just naturally introverts, that being good in their sport, winning major championships, being known, they're forced to almost become an extrovert. They've been used to going to practice, getting better at their sport, coming out and performing. But at the end of the game, they want to interview Tim Duncan. They want to interview Osaka. And so it just gave her anxiety. I mean, I think she just ultimately the anxiety of after a match or before a match is sitting in a room in front of strangers that are just throwing questions and asking you questions is not always the most comfortable setting for people. And so yeah, I think just the social anxiety. I know she was vocal in the Black Lives Matter movement, so it's been a long year for her. And the Serena match is really what thrust her in the limelight. And so I just think that coupled with, her just not naturally being an extrovert has kind of led to where we are today. And so hopefully she gets better and she can get back to the courts.
Earlier this week, I did 2 radio interviews where I was asked to focus on her not doing those interviews, and that's a show for another day. I have a different school of thought anyway on that. But for another day. For those of you who are not aware, the 23-year-old tennis star revealed that she suffered long bouts of depression since her first Grand Slam back in I think it was 2018, and a day after she refused to do the interview, she was fined $15,000 for not talking to the media following her victory on Sunday, and she decided to step out. We want to hear from you out there if you feel strongly about this issue. We'll be and another youth-related issue. We'll be discussing this in the coming weeks. So drop us a line at info@KOPMN, or you can call or text 561-665-0151. So Brother John, wasn't that an amazing story about Black Wall Street? I found it quite concerning that, look, man, 100 years after this atrocity, according to the residents, nothing has gotten better. Now, these people are just muddling. I just can't fathom what it would be like living in a place that hasn't changed in 10 years, much less 100 years. For those who are not in Palm Beach County, out of town, I have been in this community now 34 years. Excuse me. And when I came here, Delray Beach, the city that I call my home, Delray Beach was a sleepy oceanfront enclave. I watched that city went from a city where they closed the shutters at 5 o'clock. About 5 o'clock, they would close downtown, and it had all these bungalows downtown, to a thriving, I want to say metropolis now. But in my eyes, it's a city that I'm proud of to call home. And can you imagine, man, in 100 years, nothing has changed?
It wasn't until 2000 where they even, included that in the curriculum as far as the Tulsa Massacre in the Oklahoma public schools. And even, in preparing for this show, just saw that in New York at the gallery that it has been vandalized this week, especially this week that they're commemorating the Tulsa Massacre and recognizing that. And I know it looks like Tom Hanks has came out and spoke about it, and think that we should honor it. And so hopefully I think that that's something that as a community and as a country that we don't forget. And hopefully, it is kind of unfortunate to hear, that the citizens in Tulsa have felt like, not much has changed in whether it's the recognition and the kind of remembrance of what happened 100 years ago, or just the opportunities, the business opportunities for Black people in that city. So it is unfortunate, that the residents aren't seeing a change or don't feel a change. And I think that's the onus on, maybe the state of Oklahoma to bring more recognition and actually honor that and almost make it a national holiday.
Well, I can assure you that if for the young people who are listening to this show, you will be learning more about about Tulsa in the coming weeks and months, because I'm gonna make sure Valine hone in on this one. I tell you what, if you have a relative or if you have any connection to the Tulsa community, we need to hear from you. Contact us, please, because we want to make sure that that we get to the bottom of this. All right. So, Brother John, what's on tap for the weekend?
Man, a little rest and relaxation. Not a whole lot. Was able to relax over the long weekend last weekend. So yeah, just looking forward to a little rest and relaxation over the weekend, and that's about it. What about you guys? Anything?
Well, we're going
Daryl,
out
Zero?
fishing. We're going out fishing tomorrow with those kids off Lake Hotter. And as I said earlier, just can't say enough about this community, man. Unfortunately, by the way, John, the Omegas have stepped up. The Sigmas have given me a boat. The Kappas have given me
Okay.
a boat. And there was someone else but anyway, the fraternities have stepped up. The Masons, they're going to be showing up. The Elks
Okay.
Lodge
Okay.
going to be showing up. So we're gonna take them out, and we're gonna have
That's
a
amazing.
good time. Can't say enough, again about the police officers. Okay, Neil, I got the message, Neil. I got the message. But they showed up, and I mean, we're gonna have a good time tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What about you, Daryl? What's planned?
Just going to go through some college stuff and paint. That's it.
All right. Oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Have a good one, sir. All right. So now we have Dina. Hi, Dina. Okay.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay. So going right into it for a story tonight. For the past 5 weeks, we have heard from several ladies who have shared some of their most innermost experiences in this journey called life in a well-crafted anthology called Sister to Sister. This book is a powerful collection of essays on the ties that bind 16 Black women in our community. Some of the stories are moving and painful, some humorous. Still, even the bleaker pieces hold lovely, ethereal moments, and the relationships between these women are full and complex. Warmth, love, hilarity, shared moments, all in the hopes of ensuring that our youth will have a blueprint by which to guide their lives. With us tonight is Dr. Carla Smith, I believe. Apologies for the miss. You deserve your rightful title on tonight's program. Who is a doctor and member of the Palm Beach County chapter of the National Coalition of Black Women. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us tonight. And
You're so
congratulations on your soon-to-be book. It must be a great process for you to get that published. How are you feeling about it so far?
Well, I'm feeling great about the book. I've had the opportunity to meet, additional women. The other people that are part of the book they're from different states. Most of them from our area. Just having the opportunity to work with different women, their experiences, and being able to discuss things and build the relationships with new women. The process has been really good. As far as the publishing, our visionary, Rhonda Turner, she has been responsible for, dealing with the publishing part of it, but we have just been there to contribute to the different chapters to make the book what it is today.
So what originally made you join in this project? What was it that motivated you?
Just having the experience with selecting great women to be around and actually experiencing what true sisterhood is.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up like an introvert, and I really didn't, associate with too many people. And, in a lot of cases, a lot of women don't like to do a lot of things together. I mean, a lot of young women in the program, sometimes the young girls don't like to work together because they don't like to be involved with issues, to put it lightly here. So for me to come in and meet different women to show you what true sisterhood is when you work together and support each other, it really made me want to be a part of this, to share other young people, to share the information to other young people. This can actually materialize and help you in whatever you decide to do.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Thank you for that.
Wow, that sounds so amazing. And you can see your passion for really how you talk about it. You talk about sisterhood. So what does sisterhood mean to you?
Well, sisterhood means, well, some of the qualities of sisterhood for me, when you deal with friends and other sisters, it's not always blood. Sometimes some of your sisters are not blood sisters. You can select those. But some of the qualities, of course, is wisdom. You want them to be wise and knowledgeable. Of course, loyal. That's really important. Having some compassion, loving you for who you are, and don't expect you to change. And also being honest, because a real sister will not only tell you what you want to hear, they're going to tell you what you need to hear. So those are some of the great qualities that I find with sisterhood, and having sisters like that in your circle, it just makes you a stronger person.
So to stem off of that, with that theme of sisterhood and telling you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear, is that level of transparency what influenced you to be so motivated towards sisterhood in the first place? What was it towards sisterhood that sparked?
Yeah, I would say it was a transparency, because I had an opportunity to really experience sisterhood when I was going through a crossroad in my life. Someone was really there for me, her transparency, sharing what she's been through to help me when I was going through the situation that I was experiencing. So by giving back and being transparent, a lot of people need to know what you've gone through. I mean, I've been here for a while now. So I used to be the type of person that wouldn't share things, because I grew up in a household where, what goes on in my house, stay in this house. So I wouldn't share a lot of things. But I've learned as an adult that sharing your stories, being transparent, can help someone else not make the same mistakes, and can help them with their life as well by, your testimony and the mistakes that you've made. They don't have to make the same mistakes. They can learn from mine.
Definitely. And I can see that's one of the reasons why you decided to be a part of this project and really publish this book, because you want other people to learn from your story. That's amazing. What do you think, what is unique about your story? You talk about transparency with sisterhood. What is unique about your story? Because we have 16 different stories, and we know that they're all different, but together they make a beautiful book, and we can all learn from it.
Awesome. Yes, they are all different. We all come from different backgrounds. Some of the stories may be somewhat similar depending on what we've gone through, but each one is different in its own, because it's about our unique story. As far as my chapter, I'm trying to not tell all the part of the chapter, but the section that talks about understanding others and communicating with others, understanding how to communicate with people depending on the type of person you're dealing with. As we get into business, you have to learn how to make adjustments in your presentations depending on the type of person that you're dealing with, what their personality type is. So there's a section there that talks about understanding how to communicate with others. And of course, in relationships, friendships, communication is really important. And that's a really important section, I think, in the chapter that I have, without telling you the whole chapter.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Communication is one of the most important skills.
Definitely. So I think in that, with the value of communication and all the highs and lows that you've discussed, learning from someone else's story, what do you hope that young people will gain from reading your chapter, Dr. Smith?
Okay. Well, because I do share some of the things that I went through as a child, and some of the things that we go through, because people have different home situations. But what I would want the youth to get from my chapter is, no matter how it was when you grew up, no matter what you faced or any of your experiences, you can still succeed in life. You can still do whatever you desire. Put your mind to it, whatever, when it comes to profession, whatever your profession or desired profession is, do your research, learn everything you can about it, and put what you want in front of you, so that way you see it. Okay, so whenever you come across obstacles, or there may be some delays, just because something's delayed doesn't mean denied. So, keep it in front of you so that you'll see your outcome, the final goal that you want. Keep the end result in mind and know that no matter what it is, you can accomplish your goal. Just put your mind to it, get your information, get all the knowledge you can about that job or career that you want, and you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You read my story and things that I've been through, and I was blessed to be able to accomplish the goals and things that I have done so far. So you can do it.
Wow, that is so inspiring. And hearing from all of the co-authors of this book really just kind of really inspires me too. And I hope like our audience here too.
Absolutely. You can accomplish all of your... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's completely fine.
Completely fine. Is there a specific part of your story that is a must read or a section that you're excited for people to read about?
Well, I was talking about the communication earlier, but just reading the first part of how things start out, understanding how important connecting with strong people is in that particular section of the chapter. Your community of the people that you surround yourself with. And my grandmother used to say, the birds of a feather flock together. Well, when you're trying to do well in life, you want to surround yourself with successful people that have accomplished what you want to accomplish. It talks about your community and networking, because the people you network with, it can contribute to your net worth. So it's really important when you keep in your inner circle and you control that.
Wow, well said. The social circle is a great influence on a person.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And just to the viewers outside and to our guest, I apologize if it seems as if there's a disturbance on my end. My mom thinks it's appropriate now to be joking with me on live, but I do apologize. Okay, so we'll just move on from that. So Dr. Smith, I'm just curious to see, where your mind is processing is. For me, it would be still an opportunity to get to publish a book and contribute to it. So throughout your life, was this something that you would have seen yourself partaking in, or have looked forward to partaking in, just publishing a book in total?
Initially, no, I wasn't planning to write a book. But, with getting the doctorate, we write dissertations, and that's writing a book. But as far as the community and joining with other sisters, because I have been a part of multiple anthologies, and with learning to give back and tell my story and how it can help others, that is one of the reasons why I can consider writing books and getting involved and being in multiple anthologies. Today, it's much easier to publish a book. I mean, there are different publishing companies available, as well as you can self-publish. So there are a number of ways that you can actually get involved in writing your own books.
Love that. And to move forward with that, especially with your leadership and going towards higher education to get your title, what advice do you have for young girls starting their careers?
First of all, surround yourself with good people. Again, for young ladies who want to start out, love yourself first through this journey. Take care of you first. Sometimes we work a lot, and when we get involved in different things, sometimes you kind of lose yourself because you're working so hard at certain things. Remember that you have to take care of yourself first. And you do see distractions, because there will be some, take care of you first. Because without you and your health, there's no wealth or anything else. So you matter, take care of you first, and then focus on everything else.
Perfect.
Oh, beautifully said. Self-care, self-love, all important. So as we leave tonight, Dr. Smith, could you please remind us where and how can people find the book?
Okay. All of the co-authors are selling the books right now too. You could actually go to sistertosister.com, or you can go to, I sell the book myself as well. If someone would like to go get a book from me directly, and I will actually ship the book out to you as soon as we do receive them. But it is sistertosisterbook.com, and it's the number 2. So sister2book.com. So that would be where you can go and get your books from, or from any author. we'll have the copies to send to you as soon as we receive them all.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Dr. Smith,
You're
for coming here
welcome.
tonight. It was a pleasure.
I'm so proud of you all. You guys are doing a great job. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you so much for all that you do and for keeping inspiring us.
Yes, you're welcome.
And there you have it again tonight, folks. Sister the anthology. We're going through and out with the authors that have contributed to this book. And we have ended with Dr. Smith tonight. I can say for myself and with Dina that it was a pleasure to interview her side of things.
And that will about do it for this week's edition of Community Conversations, Daryl. We hope that you learned something tonight that will make a significant impact on your life this year, young people. There is no greater investment you can make on a Friday night than being with like-minded peeps on Community Conversations.
Ain't that the truth? Thank you to all of our guests for enlightening us and to our sponsors for keeping us going. And a big sincere shout out to the Boca Raton Tribune for simulcasting us on Facebook and YouTube.
So, Daryl, who is our featured guest for next week?
Great, you should ask, Dina. There will be 2 more of these 16 women, Miss Tracy Graham, Miss Keisha Williams, fingers tied that all of them come through and everything will go according to plan, who will also chronicle their life stories in the book and will get their own perspectives on sort. We will also hear from our friends at the Delray Beach Police Department who will be taking your questions. So if you have some questions for them, please send them to info@kopmn.org or 561-665-0151.
Wow, Daryl, sounds like another exciting show. Can't wait. And we have some birthday shout outs. So shout out to Carl Winters celebrating his 18th birthday, and Jeremy Richard, 14th birthday, Samantha Rogers, 15th birthday, Ava Roberts, 11th birthday, and Delina Johnson on June 9th. So happy birthday, be safe and enjoy your birthday.
So that's a nice tidy mix of teens, preteens, and 1 adult, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Speaking of staying safe, as we wrap up tonight's session, we'll leave you with this message.
A mask can say a lot about the person who wears it. But even more about the person who doesn't.
Well, we must stay safe. And remember, the elected leaders may have lifted the mask requirements, but as of 3 days ago, the CDC says everyone vaccinated or unvaccinated should continue to wear masks in certain places. Masks are still required on public transportation, buses, trains, and planes, and other settings like hospitals, prisons, and homeless shelters. So please keep wearing your mask and protect yourself and others. Good night and have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great one, you guys. Be safe.
Information. If it exists in writing, we print it. If it exists online, we update it. If it exists on mobile, we notify. If it exists in video, we show it. If it exists in audio, we play it. In the past, the news had to wait for a paper to print for it to happen. Today, news happens in real time. It's analyzed, edited, and published immediately by us, your neighbors, and of course, you. Wherever you are, you write, edit, give opinions, share photos, and make the news happen. This is why a paper needs to be on print, on screen, and on your phone. Wherever you are, your news has its pulse in the community. The Boca Raton Tribune. We are much more than just a newspaper. We are your closest neighbor.